I knew this was going to get shit for multiple reasons. The first of it is bringing back someone who is now passed on. Ian Holm passed away in 2020, I believe, right?
2021, I believe, is when he died.
Somewhere in there, right? And so Ian Holm has since passed, but they brought his likeness back in this animatronic form. It is an animatronic robot with some CGI assistance, as we explained earlier. I knew that was going to just rub people the wrong way because this person has died. This person has moved on. You have some insight as to why. Now, we're not done talking about the subject because there's more to talk about besides just the fact that we brought him back. But you brought some insight that I didn't know about, and I'd love you to tell people right now because I feel a way better about it now knowing what I know. And so, Damon Martin, please give us some insight on why Ian Holm's likeness is back in this movie.
And just to be fair, this was one of the biggest things I bumped up against because I'm like, the guy died. Like, there's no reason to bring him back. Lance Henriksen is still out there. You know, Michael Fassbender is still out there. I thought, man, bring back David. That would be kind of cool. Bring back Bishop. You know, you can digitally de-age Lance Henriksen. Do that. Or my other suggestion was have it be another David, even though, or not David, another Andy, even though we know Andy is supposed to be a mining and farming droid. Anything. I was just like, don't do this. It's sacrilege. The guy died. But here is the insight that I didn't know until I read an interview today with Fede Alvarez. He had talked about this, and he said that it was him and Ridley Scott who came up with the idea because they felt that Lance Henriksen had come back in Alien 3. He had come back in Alien versus Predator. That Bishop character had popped up several times in the history. And, of course, Michael Fassbender's David was in both Prometheus and in Alien Covenant. But Ian Holm, who was the big reveal, the big villain besides the xenomorph in Alien, that was one of the biggest twists in the entire movie is when we find out that he's not only an android, but he is working for the corporation. He don't give a fuck about the crew of the Nostromo. He just wants to save this creature. So that becomes a huge plot point in that movie. We talked about that at length in our original Alien review. But that never came back up again. Ian Holm acted for many years. He was in The Fifth Element. Great movie. He was in The Fifth Element. He just continued to act, but never reappeared in the Alien universe. And that kind of bugged Fetty and Ridley Scott. So they went to Ian Holm's family, and they said, look, here's what we're thinking. We're not, it's not done yet. We're not shooting, and we're just telling you after the fact. How do you feel about this? And Ian Holm's family told them that towards the last year and a half, 2 years of his life, he felt a little ostracized from Hollywood because he stopped getting offers, stopped getting roles, stopped being able to work. And he was kind of bummed about that. He was kind of sad about that before he died. And his family, I don't know if it was his wife or his kids or who told him this, but they said his family told them if they had come to him with this idea to return for an Alien franchise, he would have absolutely loved it. And he would have jumped at the chance to return for another Alien movie. That's what clinched it for me. Now, did the look succeed? That still is one of the biggest problems I have because there was an actor who played the part and they digitally put Ian Holm's face on the actor, and of course there's CGI, and it didn't look great, Patrick. It really didn't. That's probably one of the parts of the movie that probably looked, I won't say the worst, but it was not great. There were, I think less would have been more with the Ian Holm return as Rook, because they had to digitally, because again, Ian Holm passed away several years ago. So I don't bump up against it nearly as much now, knowing that his family not only knew about it, but actually said he would have loved to have come back. He would have jumped at the chance to star in another Alien film. I was like, oh, that kind of warms my heart because that just, he was such a great actor. I loved Ian Holm. That part one. Part two of that, though, the other side is if you're going to do it right. And I think the look was a little off here.